You don't have to worry about racism in Kenya because I'm black. Whenever I was in Latin America and I was complaining about, these chicks are white worshiping, right? You know what I never had crossed my mind when I was in Kenya? That, I can go talk to some chicks, and then the minute a white boy walks by, these chicks all turn into slaves and puppies. I never had that thought when I was in Nairobi. I never had that thought. I had that thought when I was in Latin America. I really did. Now, maybe I had it in Asia, but I didn't give a damn anyway because I don't go to sleep dreaming about Asian women, so that never crossed my mind there either. But maybe if I did have Asian women as a preference, then maybe that would have been on my mind there as well. But I do notice it's a thing there as well. When I was in Latin America, the women would turn into fucking puppies the minute a white guy comes by. The restaurant service was different. Right in front of my fucking face. When I was with white people as opposed to being by myself or with other non-whites. Okay? It's not where you can't live there. It's not that bad. But it's annoying as shit. Okay? Do I really want to deal with that shit every day for the rest of my life? I'm going to tell you the fucking answer. I don't. Will I go back to Latin America? Absolutely. I love it. But I couldn't stay there permanently. I can't deal with it. That shit I cannot deal with. I can't deal with it. Some people, I don't know why, and only black Americans say this stupid shit. Well, they got tribalism. Yeah, what tribe am I from in Nairobi? I'll wait. How the fuck am I going to experience tribalism and I'm not even from there? That's some shit that they go through, not me. You know what that argument is like? That's the equivalent to you saying, oh, well, Austin, Kenya's not that great. Their economy isn't that good. Great. I don't work in Kenya. I'm not employed by any Kenyan company. That's not my problem. The same way how tribalism is not my problem. Shit. Okay? So I don't have to worry about those things when it comes to being in Nairobi. Never have. People love to say like, oh, the African women, they prefer the white guys. I'm sorry, I was in Africa for 6 months and I spent 3 to 4 of those months in Nairobi. I know for a fact I spent at least 3 because I had a 3-year lease for an apartment. And I'm going to let you know right now, I never saw, that doesn't mean white guys didn't get picked because they did, but a preference, I did not see that. Now, people can prefer whatever they want until that shit starts to get in my way. And that's how the majority of the world thinks. Well, all you motherfuckers think like that. It's not a problem until it affects you. Then it becomes a problem. Okay? So that was not an issue that I ever even went to bed thinking about when I lived in Nairobi. Okay? Now, Nairobi is safe. Okay? It doesn't mean that nothing is possible, because something definitely is possible in Nairobi. Never happened to me. God forbid I don't want it to happen to me, right? But guess what? The most that I have seen as an American living in Nairobi that will happen to you is maybe somebody on a motorcycle snatches the phone out your hand when they roll past. Some shit that happens in Asia and some shit that happens in Latin America. Everywhere. That pretty much happens. I mean, that could happen in the States, but I mean, people aren't desperate for phones like that in the States because they're more affordable than they are in a place like Brazil. Or anywhere where the electronic taxes are so high that phones jump up 4 and 5 times in value. So, guess what? Now, I don't have to worry about that level of danger. I've walked around Nairobi many, many times at night alone. Never felt in danger. Never felt like I was going to get robbed or killed. You know, when I went on dates with women in Nairobi, not once did I think I was gonna wake up naked in the middle of a fucking forest. I didn't have those worries. Now that's never happened to me, but I'm not gonna discredit all the people that have died and been robbed in Latin America for those things. And no, it's not just Colombia that does those things. You can get drugged anywhere in the world. You can get drugged in Texas. But we're not gonna make it seem like some places is so bad, like Medellin, where it's so bad to the point where they're known for that shit. To where the United States government has a fucking advisory for you to look out for this. When you get on Tinder in Medellin, the damn thing tells you that it's not safe to use Tinder. These people are selling you their service, Tinder, and they're telling you to be careful using their service in this city. Okay? When you're in Nairobi, you don't get those alerts. The safety is not an issue. FYI. Next thing, you guys, I've come to realize I'm stepping on some people's toes in Latin America anyway. Not that I give a fuck, but I'm stepping on some people's toes, and I have to let them continue to lie to you people about what's going on in these countries and how these people are getting results the way that they are. Okay? I'm going to let you have your market, continue to scheme and lie. I'm your only friend. Now, here's my thing about this. I can't lie to you about Nairobi. I've complained about certain things in Nairobi. I don't know how many because it wasn't that many. I wasn't selling you nothing on Nairobi. So for months and months, about 40 videos probably I did in Nairobi. For months and months, I just told you, hey, this is a great place. Come to this place. It's great. Come to this place. I did that shit for free. I had no monetization behind it. I mean, maybe I got paid for you guys to watch videos, but there was no motive for me telling you to go to Nairobi. So I can't make up a false dream about Nairobi or sell a fake experience that most people won't experience when they get there. Just keep that in mind. Now, next one. Maybe not so much in Nairobi. I don't know. I got to go back and do some more searching for this time. But I know Africa in general has, what I've seen around the world, the most submissive women. The best shot at having a stay. If you guys, some of you guys are looking for this, I'm not ready for this right now. But if you are looking for a stay-at-home wife that you don't need to work and stay at your house all day and rub your feet and not nag in your fucking ear all day, Africa is definitely the place for you. It's definitely the place for you. Now, Nairobi is a little different. Nairobi is more of a party culture. You know, they got some party stuff going on in Nairobi. But if you guys are looking for traditional women, Africa in general, I mean, Uganda, Tanzania, many places in Africa, it's the place. I mean, Africa is one of those continents where, I'm saying this because of traditional, where men have several wives and it's not illegal. And it's normal. That's normal. I'm not saying I want that. I'm just telling you guys, in Africa, that's a thing. So everybody that's looking for this traditional wife, I'm telling you, after going to 5 continents, I'm telling you, Africa is your best bet for that. That doesn't mean that you can't get it in other places, but if you want to find that at a high rate, Africa is your best bet. I don't give a damn how you feel about that statement. I'm the one that's experienced all these places. I got a video coming out about that too. I recorded it today. It'll be coming out. But I'm going to just drop a couple snippets, right? I brought up feminism in Brazil before. I want you guys to go ask 10 Brazilian women how many of them will be a stay-at-home wife. I'm not talking about sugar babies. I'm not talking about prostitutes. I'm talking about just regular chicks that are digging you when they saw you. or when they got to know you. Because everybody can't be looked at and just like. But when they got to know you, how many of them want to be a stay-at-home wife? I can guarantee you is no more than 5. And that you lucky if you get fucking 5 that will say that. Okay? Now, the next one. Just like what most of us want, it's very cheap in Nairobi, Kenya. Very cheap. Now, if you want to get to flying around Africa, that's a different story. But to live in Nairobi, to have a 2-bedroom, I'm tired of saying this, to have a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in a nice side of town with a nice view, I'm speaking from experience, I paid $670 per month and it was fully furnished. Okay? It was fully furnished. If you were to grocery shop, which I'm not doing, but if you were to grocery shop and have that apartment and use Uber for whatever you need it for and go on dates, you could do all that with less than $2,000. You could do that for less than $2,000. So it's not, as somebody said, no, it's not that cheap. I live here. Well, I live there as well. Unless the price has done doubled since 12 months ago, or less than that, because I left there in September. I left in October. If the prices have doubled since then, maybe I'm wrong. But according to 9 months, 10 months ago, that wasn't the case from what I saw. So it's cheap. I'm the only one telling you the truth anyway, so believe me. It's cheap in Nairobi, Kenya. It's affordable. There may be other places in Africa that are cheaper, but for what you get in Nairobi, Kenya, for the culture you get, for the activities you could experience, for the people you meet, guess what? It's cheap. Coming from Dallas, it's cheap. A 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment that looked how that one did on that side of town that I had in Nairobi would have not been $670. It probably would have been somewhere around $4,000 a month without furniture. So yes, it's cheap. I ate out several times, well not several, but 2 or 3 times a day. Okay? A mid-grade restaurant was topping off at $15. That's a mid-grade. If you go eat at a regular restaurant, you can eat for $5. That's cheap. Now, next part. I already brought up the white and black race thing. I already brought that up, so I don't need to bring that up again. Social circle. In Nairobi, I have the most friends than I have anywhere else in the world. I have more friends in Nairobi than I do combined with everybody I know from the United States. I have more friends there than I have in all cities combined in Brazil. I have more friends there than I do in Paraguay. I have more friends than I do there in Colombia. I have more friends there than I do in Thailand and Tanzania as well. You could put all of those places I just named together. And I have more friends in Nairobi than all those places combined together. Okay? If you're not me, there are a lot of expats. A lot of expats. And they're not shithole expats either. Like the expats that live in Nairobi, I actually like. Some expats in different parts of the world, I can't stand. In Nairobi, I love the expats. I love them there. Some countries, expats, so great. Some not so great. But I'm telling you guys, in Nairobi, I love the expats. If you guys always say like, oh, link up with the local men. Guess what? I have a lot of local Kenyan friends. A lot. A lot. They keep in contact with me. A lot. Okay? So, social circle, that whole social circle, meet the baddest chick bullshit, I guess that would be more effective there. Next, the food is better. I don't think it's the best in the world. I think Tanzania has the best food in the world, but it's Africa. So pretty much all the food is top tier. I've been to 5 continents. Africa had the most natural, purest, long lasting in your stomach tasting food. Not tasting, but food. Best tasting food is what I meant to say. The best food in the world is in Africa. It's not in Latin America. It's not in Europe. It's not in Asia. Like people like Peru has some of the best food in the world. Yeah, they have some of the best food in Latin America. I don't know about the world. I guess if you put it on the world scale, maybe they'd be in the top 10. But I'm telling you, out of 24 countries, about to be 25, Tanzania has the best food in the world, but Kenya is not too far off. So you get to eat good food for cheap. There's luxury food there as well. I paid $70 for dates at high-end, $70 or $90 for high-end dates at special restaurants that I like to eat at there. You can do both. But you can get the food that costs less is just as good as the expensive food. There's really no point in even paying all. You're paying for the ambiance when you go to the expensive place. The food is just as good as the cheap shit. Okay? Somebody brought up eating with their hands. And now, so again, out of all the African countries I went to, every complaint that I had about Africa was the least in Nairobi. You guys know I can't eat. When I was in Tanzania, the guy tried to get me to eat. Elvis, if you guys remember him, he tried to get me to eat off the same plate. And he was eating and putting it in his mouth and eating. I'm like, yeah, fuck no, I'm not doing that. I let him eat his food and I ordered another plate. They may do that in Kenya, but I can tell you guys the majority of the time I was in Kenya, I was eating with a fork, a knife, and a spoon. Just like every other civilized nation in the world. So that's not even an issue that crossed my mind. Now, there is, just like most other African countries, there is a social circle. If you guys, I see we got 711 people watching in between YouTube and Twitter. Make sure you get a video like and share it so more people can find out. Because I got to give these other content creators something to talk about. Because if I don't make a video, their channels will run out of content today. So I need to help them out. Now, service culture is a big thing in Africa. Why is that good? If you guys want food delivered, just like in what you call it, in Colombia and everywhere else, they have that same. Don't think because it's Africa they don't have it. They have that same guy riding a motorcycle that'll drop your hamburger off at your house. When I used to order cigars, I'd be like, man, like I'm wasting money going back and forth with the Uber. Like, why? Oh, it's only $2 extra for you to send it to me? Yeah, send me the cigars. Just like every other place I've been going to. They do it the same way in Africa. I order some clothes from my tailor, send it to me. I don't even have to go see him. Now, I would go see him because we would talk and have some ideas on some new stuff. But if I didn't want to do that, I didn't have to do that. I don't have to wash my own clothes in Kenya. Somebody comes to the house, comes inside, washes the clothes, they leave. When I was in places like, and you can do this in Kenya and Tanzania too. When I was in places like Rwanda, Uganda, there was a houseboy. In the United States, we would equate him to being, during slavery times, like a house nigga is what they would call him, right? I didn't like that concept, but it was there. I didn't like the concept because it was too slave-like for me, but it's there. So if you guys want somebody that'll watch your kids, cook for you, clean for you, you can hire, I forgot what, I know in Tanzania, I believe they call them a dada or something like that. They have an outhouse that they live in. This woman, my friend in Tanzania, there's a woman that lives in the outhouse, and her job is literally to cater to them like they're fucking royalty, kings and queens. That's the culture that they have in Africa. It's damn sure not Latin America. It's Africa, my bad. I'll read these super chats here in a second. Along with that, cheap labor. I see O'Shea Duke Jackson is in the comments down there. Shout out to him. Cheap labor. If you guys are looking for employees to help you run whatever business you're running, whatever business, that service culture is right there for you. and it's not expensive, and the locals would love you if you hired them. That's another thing about Kenya. They show you that I've been shown the most love in the world in Kenya. I'm a fucking celebrity in Kenya. Literally. If I go back today, it would be my life would be completely different. Because they give you that much love when you can appreciate their country and not go to their country and show go to the countryside and show a bunch of people with HIV and oversized bellies from malnutrition, mosquitoes, and flies. We already saw that on National Geographic. Okay, so if you're somebody that can go down there and show them what it's really like and what it would be as an American to live there, everybody will love you. The Americans will love you, speaking from experience, and the locals will love you. Now, lots of activities. If you guys are wanting to move to a major city where there's a lot going on, there's music everywhere, you want to move to a city where you can not get any work done because there's so much going on? Nairobi, Kenya is that place. And like I told you guys, I'm not selling nobody a dream. You can go to Nairobi and you'll see exactly what the hell I'm talking about. There's no letdowns when it comes to anything I just said. Nothing. Because I'm giving you this information for free. I've given it for free. And that's why I told you guys I'm going back. I'm getting tired of traveling anyway. I need to take a break for a little while. But I'm not taking a break in Latin America. I'm not going to sit around on the internet and fucking complain about women turning into slaves and all that other bullshit I'm not doing that shit. Who doing that shit? Not me. Now, if you guys are interested in Nairobi, make sure you're subscribed. I'll be back there soon. If you guys want to speak about Nairobi, you could always book a consultation. I've done the most consultations in the world over Nairobi. I was in Paraguay still talking to people on the phone and on Zoom calls about Nairobi. Because if we want to, besides Brazil, we want to talk about somewhere else that I've bragged about the most is Nairobi. Amazing customer service is in Nairobi. I had to tell Kenyans to stop saying you're welcome so much. They say you're welcome way too much. That's how nice they are as people. And honestly, that's where I want to be at. Still going to travel, but I'm choosing to take my break there. That's the best place for me. I can't deal with this other shit, man. I can't. And it has nothing to do with Europe. It has nothing to do with Europe. But all this other shit I've been experiencing traveling around the world, I'm done. I gotta take a break, and I'm not permanently taking a break outside of Nairobi. I'll be in Nairobi. Now, JD sent $5 for, you said Brazil wasn't the same when you went back. How do you know the same thing won't happen in Kenya? Thank you for the super chat. Well, if you may have heard me earlier,